Okay, so we've just arrived in a hotel in Ukiah, 100 miles from our house. We've just sold our house and sold our old SUV, and we've sold up everything. We've said goodbye to our cats, and we're down to 2 suitcases and a car, and no possessions to talk about, and we're free basically. And so why did we do this?
So we're free to travel now. We can travel anywhere we want with no timelines, travel around the world. So we're going to start in the US in the car and the suitcase, and do basically a big W, starting up in the northwest and then head down south, back up central, back down to the deep south, up to New York, back down to Florida, and then catch a boat from Florida over to Europe and travel over there some more. But that's just part of the goal. The ultimate goal is to buy a boat and then sail around the world several times. And you have the boat picked out.
Yep, we've kind of got the boat picked out as a type of boat. We want to get an aluminum boat with a centerboard so we can go up rivers, and we want a sailboat so that we're not going to burn a lot of gasoline and generate a lot of carbon. And we want to be able to have a small enough boat that we can manage it ourselves, or with one person if one person becomes disabled. And so we've kind of got the boat picked out. Seems like all the aluminum boats that are made today of that size and spec are located in the west coast of France. So that's where we're going to head first stop, but we're going to meander over there real slow to get over there. So we're going to do a big car drive tour while the boat is being built, and tour the US first step.
And we'll see a couple boats on the way, and we'll have some more videos to show about those boats and what they look like on the way. There's a couple, one up in Canada and one, I forget where the other one is.
Yeah, there's a few brokerages. We could see some boats that are, fairly old perhaps. And there's a big toss up between getting an old boat and a new boat, and a lot of people have discussed that. But we're thinking of getting a new boat and build it, because we have the time to wait while we tour the land in Europe. And so we want to build it to our specifications so that we know every nook and cranny on the boat and every pipe and wire on the boat, so we can fix it in remote places if we have to. And
so we'll just have a look-see on the way.
Yeah, get educated basically.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch up with you as we go.
Keep you posted. So while we were charging, we walked around Ukiah, which is a sleepy little town just to the north of California's wine region. So we wanted to relocate fairly quickly up to Eureka, California, so we needed to get charged in the car to do that. We could see some of the fire damage from the massive fires that had just run through over the past few days and weeks. So it started to get soggy around Gerberville in Northern California as we were driving up to Eureka. Redwood trees and the Leggett area, Leggett, California. So we had a quick night in Eureka, and then head off for just north of Coos Bay the following morning. So this is the terrain at the very northern tip of California on the coast. driving through the Redwoods is really a very special experience. Arriving at Crescent City Supercharger Bank, very recently installed. Well, that made a bit of a muddy mess. After leaving the California Redwoods, we headed up the Oregon coast. It's just hundreds of miles of exquisite scenery. There's also a great zoo on the side of the road. It's a small private zoo that's got some fantastic, great cats. We popped into the exhibition at Tillamook, the Tillamook cheese factory, where they show you how to make cheese and ice cream and dairy products of various types. It's well worth a visit. Tillamook also has a great aircraft museum, well worth popping into.
And nice.
They're very nice.
Nice
and
people.
I believe it now when they say, you're now entering the town of XXX, the friendliest city in the world. I think they all say that.
Friendly. It's the drugs. It's the Oregonian drugs. They're happy people.
And a funny thing happened to us as we were driving over the Astoria Bridge. I leant out of the window right about here to try to get a better shot. So I got this bright red GoPro facing out the window. And the car behind us thought this was a gun and became frightened. So they called the police, and the police pulled us over subsequently to check us out.
It's just this. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Which we found rather amusing.
Yeah, with the bridge.
It's not a gun.
The bridge was so interesting.
Yeah, and that's where it happened, is at the bridge.
Oh, Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were holding it over the bridge to look at the kind of the roller coaster effect.
Okay.
That bridge is so cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get it, bridge.
So that's why I stopped you.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright.
Almost had you out at gunpoint.
I was wondering, why is he asking so seriously?
Yep.
Do we have a gun?
So normally when that happens, I would have done it differently. But I saw you guys drive by. I thought, well, they don't look like people that are pointing guns at anybody. Or else I would have literally had you guys out at gunpoint. So.
Oh wow!
I'm glad you guys didn't.
But who reported us?
The car behind you. They followed you all the way up the road from the bridge.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they thought you were pointing at a gun.
Well,
Wow.
concerned citizens.
I'm glad you didn't.
So now if I put the camera out the window, I'm going to have to make sure that there's no frightened looking people around, and think twice about it. Next stop was Aberdeen, which is the last large city or town before entering the national park, the Olympic National Park on the west coast. We stayed at a little Airbnb called the $100 Inn, which had an electric car charger, so that enabled us to make the distance over to Port Angeles the next day. And a little town called Pacific Beach with a huge wide open beach.
Dawn's happy now she's in her favourite restaurant.
Peter says this is our last chance to see the Pacific Ocean for a while. I don't believe him, but we'll see if we get up to Canada. We're approaching Forks, Washington, up in the northwest corner, and we pulled off to see the beach here.
Huge amount of driftwood in this beach. Just goes on and on. There's a bit of driftwood. On the log hopper. Yay! She did it!
Big crescent at the very north of the Olympic National Park.
Funny face.
Why?
Really funny face.
Why?
Just pull the funniest face you can.
That is it.